Welcome back to Face the Nation, and we turn now from the news of today to a time unlike anything America had ever experienced, what came to be known as the Watergate scandal.
I have never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is completed is abhorrent to every instinct in my body.
By now, 40 years and 1 day later, millions of us have seen that historic Oval Office speech in which Richard Nixon became the only president to resign from office. But with us now, one of the very few people who saw the president make that speech in person, George Christian. He is part of our Face the Nation family. He is usually behind that camera. He was in the Oval Office that night as a camera technician. George, you must have sensed this was going to be a day like no other.
You know, the presidents have always come in with handlers and other people, you know, to secure his position and to make sure he's okay for his presentation. I remember President Nixon coming in alone, very quiet, very still time.
Surprisingly, the president was joking around before the speech.
Let me see that you get these lights properly. Right. My eyes always have. You'll find if you get past 60, that's enough. Thanks. My friend Ollie always wants to take a lot of pictures. I'm afraid he'll catch me picking my nose.
And then an unexpected request.
He asked everyone to leave the room who did not need to be there. And when he repeated it the second time, I thought he must have been talking to me.
But he wasn't talking to George. He actually wanted only the CBS crew assigned to cover the speech for
Ollie?
all the networks in the room.
No, only the CBS crew now is to be in this room during this. Only the crew. Now, all Secret Service, is there any Secret Service in the room? Just one agent, Mr. President. Out. You don't have to stay, do you?
The speech went as planned.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Nixon quickly left the Oval Office, but Christian could not believe what happened next.
They've had orders from the White House that the president didn't want to see anybody, that he was going to be roaming the grounds, and he did not want to see any technicians for sure, and that we were going to stay overnight. And we had to sleep right outside the Oval Office on the veranda.
On the other side of the White House in Lafayette Park, people had cheered, surprising a young CBS reporter.
For some reason, I had just expected a much more somber mood here, but it has just not been that way, and I would be dishonest if I said it was.
The next morning, George Christian recorded the dramatic series of events as the Nixons said goodbye to the staff and close friends.
You will be in our hearts, and you will be in our prayers.
And then, a scene that Americans had seen many times, the famous wave. Only this time, he was flying off into history. The Nixon presidency was over.